All right, so today we have another video on the good old Apple collection. And I mentioned in a previous video that these might be moving around soon. Well, today is that day. They're all going to new homes, which is in reality just different rooms in this house to spread them out and, not have this table here anymore. Anyways, yeah, they're moving to different places in the houses. Most of them are going to my room. But yes, I don't use them here near as much as I thought. So that's why they're moving. And yeah, hopefully by moving them, I'll use them a bit more. Except for one. The 2009 right here actually is going away. I'm selling it because it's not even 2007. It's just here, and I already have this one, which is actually 2007. So I don't need both of them. I really don't need both of them. I don't know if I'll replace this. I probably will replace it with something. But if I do, it's probably going to be something newer. But anyways, let's get into the other purpose of this video. As I'm moving all these things around, I'll take you with me and I will go over each of these devices and why I decided to buy them and what they mean to me and when I bought them and how much I paid for them and stuff like that. Most of the reasons for buying is just going to be because I needed to complete the collection. But a few of these, like the very early ones, had different purposes. But anyways, let's get right into it. First off, we got this here. This is the first one. The 2007 iMac. And man, I love this thing so much. It was the first one I got, and I haven't fallen out of love with it since. And I just checked, actually. I was happening to scroll through videos and stuff and saw that I've almost had this thing for 2 years now. Wow, what a journey it's been. Anyways, let's get it moved up to the spot where it's going, and I will talk to you guys more about it. Okay, so here's where the 07 iMac is. It is here in the office next to my mom's computer over there that I built for her. Not actually an Apple. But anyways, here it is. Here I am. I'm here, as you can see. And yeah, I got the keyboard from the other iMac all cleaned up using Icy-Prop alcohol, as I call it. And it looks so good cleaned up. It was so filthy before. I don't know if you saw in the other clips, but this was filthy, and now it's super clean. I could probably clean it more and more, but I just wanted to clean the keys up more than anything. I tried to clean the deck up a little bit as well, but I think I did a pretty good job. And this mouse is staying because I don't have an Apple mouse to put with it. And this one is, well, it's quite simply better because the charging port's right there. Very convenient place. There's a dog. And let's go ahead and power it on as I tell you a little bit about this thing. Wonderful. So this is my 2007 20-inch iMac. It's got the 2 gigahertz Core 2 Duo, and it came with 1 gig of RAM. It was a complete base model that I saw on eBay for $20. And this is my baby. Honestly, this is probably my favorite device out of the bunch. It's what got me to love iMacs so much, and it was my first device that I collected. And I got this purely to run my 2003 iPod because it's only FireWire, and this was the last iMac that had FireWire. And I specifically got this iMac because of Dank Pods, shout out. And yeah, I wanted an iMac because it takes up a very small amount of space for being a full computer all in one. I mean, you have the Mac Mini, of course, but then you have to get a monitor and all that. Let's turn the mouse on so I can actually use it. There we go. And, yeah, there we go. Hello. Yeah, and this iMac is the one that he has, I'm pretty sure. He might have the 24-inch, I'm not sure, but he has a 2007, and now I have a 2007. I paid $20 for it on eBay. At first, I saw this on eBay for $20 and said, you know what, I'll think about it, I'll come back to it. This is a really useless piece of technology that I really don't need. And then I came back and it was a few days later. I'm like, well, it's still there. I'm not going to buy it. And then I didn't buy it until about 3 weeks later when I was looking on eBay and saw it was still up. And I'm like, you know what? Let me check the other prices, see if this is actually a good deal or not. And it turns out it was a really good deal because other ones of these were going for like 40, 50 bucks. This one was 20. So I hit order, got it here, and it had snow leopard on it, and I immediately fell in love with the whole thing. And why isn't this connecting? Hello? Yeah, you're on. There we go. Anyways, so I fell in love with this thing, and it started the spark in my head to start collecting these things. So yeah, that's what it is, and I mean, it's dead quiet, even with the spinny hard drive and all that, and it's actually running pretty cool right now. I'm shocked it's running that cold. Oh my gosh. And it's just my baby. It really is. I'm never getting rid of this one. It's useless. It doesn't do much right now, especially with Snow Leopard still on it. I upgraded the RAM to 4 gigs of RAM because I was like, you know what? I want to put the maximum OS on this thing. I want to be able to actually run this thing. And so I put 4 gigs of RAM on it, got El Capitan on it, and it ran it. And it actually like had Steam support still and could run Minecraft and all that. Not well at all, mind you. It ran it terribly, but it could do it. Unfortunately, Steam has discontinued support for El Capitan recently, so you can't do it anymore on these. But it's okay, because now this thing just gets to sit here and look pretty, because I have a daily driver iMac Pro that will do all of that happily. And yes, that is pretty much the story with this guy. I'm very happy with it. And yeah, very happy with the keyboard, actually. It's much better than the junk one I had. And the mouse, it doesn't take that long to connect, but sometimes it can freeze up and lose connection. Little annoying, but it was like a super off-brand mouse I got for like 15 bucks. So it just looked the style, you know. But anyways, yes, guys, let's get into the other devices. All right, next up is the Mac Pro. I've decided we're not doing them in order of anything. So next up, I want to deal with the Mac Pro because it's the heaviest, and I kind of just want to get it out of the way. This is my 2007 Mac Pro, as you know. It's got dual CPUs, actually. Running at 3 gigahertz, you know, the Xeons. Pretty cool, pretty cool. And it's got the NVIDIA graphics card, I believe, in it. And yeah, we're going to get it moved up to where it's going to go now, and I'll tell you more about it. Alrighty, so we got the Mac Pro down here now. And also the Mac Mini. I forgot, I already moved that one. But we got the Mac Pro down here. And yeah, it's all working out pretty good. I'm pretty sure the resolution's all messed up on this one though, so we're going to have to adjust that. But anyways, let's talk about these two, shall we? Oh, 1080p. Never mind. It's all good already. Cool. Let's talk about it, shall we? This Mac Pro right here was the most expensive device in my collection at $175. And it is by far the most powerful, honestly. I mean, you would expect that from having 2 CPUs running at the same time at 3 gigahertz, which is the most gigahertz out of all the devices. You really would expect it to be the most powerful. Also, I know, poor cable management, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I cable manage literally everything except for this setup because I kind of just gave up at one point. I really wish I had one of the fancy desks with like a cable tray in it. That'd be really cool, but I don't have that. Anyways, back to the Mac Pro. It is a very usable device, actually, once you get down and use it. I mean, it still opens up relatively slow, everything does. And, I mean, you would expect that because, like, I mean, opening up this app, which I don't know what X11 does. Oh, cool. It's just like a coding thing. Okay, interesting. But yeah, it still acts pretty quick despite having a hard drive in it. And it is the one that I would actually end up using. I know someone was using this thing up until they sold it to me about a year ago, and it was still being used for music production stuff, because these are very popular for that still, because they can still do it. So yeah, that's pretty much the story with that one. It's yeah, it's just the most usable one that I have, although it doesn't have the Airport Extreme card in it. So I'm using a Wi-Fi dongle for Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. And yeah, that'll pretty much do it for the Mac Pro. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. Yeah, like I said before, I got it about a year ago. And this one really was just to add to the collection and make it official that I was collecting Apple devices. Because I believe this one was the next one I got where I decided I'm collecting Apple devices. So yeah, that's the purpose of this one. And while we're here, we can talk about the Mac Mini as well. We can go ahead and shut this guy down. Shut down. And we can go ahead and turn this guy on, because they don't need to be swapped over display connections anymore. They're both plugged into this monitor. So, this is the 2007 Mac Mini. It was $20 on eBay, I believe, and it is the device that is by far the least used, which is really surprising because I really love Mac Minis, actually. I think they're very cool little devices. Really, it was just kind of a decoration piece because I like the way it looks a lot. I think it's very cool with the white accent, and it's very, it just has a good look to it. It really does. And yeah, here it is here. I don't have the mouse and keyboard plugged into it. That'd be super easy to do, though, because it's just this guy here, because cheap Logitech stuff. Finally, we got it. And you can see an elephant on screen. But yes, here is my 2007 Mac Mini. It actually runs surprisingly well, despite being the weakest Apple computer that I have. And it doesn't have much stuff on it. Oh gosh, that was a little laggy, actually. Eee. Okay, well, maybe I lied. This one runs Lion on it, though. The Mac Pro also runs Lion on it. And the 07 iMac runs Snow Leopard. I should have mentioned all that. Sorry. But yeah, this one, it does what it needs to. It doesn't open apps as quickly, but it sure does work still. And it's very quiet, even with the fan control on. And you can see up here, if we show fan control, it actually stays, I mean, well, I was going to say relatively cool, but you can see there, it does not stay cool even at idle. So, yeah, it's kind of just here to exist, just to add to my collection. This one, I believe, was gotten it was about midway through is when I got it, I think. I think it was on the tail end of the devices, because, yeah, it just kind of, I knew it was going to be cheap, and I didn't really need it. So I just kind of got it to complete the collection, and nothing more. Although I tried to trick myself into believing that I got it for something earlier. But in reality, actually thinking on it now, I didn't really have a purpose for this thing ever. It just kind of sat around. But yeah, it would be a good little movie station if I wanted to watch it here, because it has the disc tray in it, and it can still play movies. Not Blu-ray, though, so a little limited on the selection. And I guess it could play, like, other disc games, too. I don't know, man. I'm kind of coping, not gonna lie. Because this can literally just do everything better than that. And it has all the connections at the front, too, so it's like, well, really the only thing this has on it is size, and it's quiet. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about the Mac Mini. Anyways, let's move on to the next device. Alrighty, so the next devices that are going up to their new place are the MacBooks. Yay! We got this MacBook Pro and this MacBook here. And I gotta admit, this is actually a 2006 MacBook Pro because I wanted the first year they came out. But like the 09, same generation, pretty much the same amount of power, and the same OS, and yeah. So, honorary 2007 device, but everything else is 2007. 2007 MacBook, the one that I don't like. That's going up too, and yeah, we're going to get it going. I'm pretty sure I'm going to like this thing once I actually put a battery in it, but it's so annoying having to click through a ton of stuff because the battery's dead. Anyways, we're going to get these guys up where they're going, and I will get back to you. Alrighty, so they're up here, and you can see them both here. This one turns on because it's got a good battery, and this one does not turn on because it has basically no battery. So, yes, let's talk about them a little, shall we? We'll start with this one, actually. The 2007 MacBook. It is by far my least favorite device because it doesn't stay on. I need to get a battery for it, I really do, and I will eventually, but I just haven't because this one is so much more usable. But yeah, it's also not in the best shape, as you can see, just panning around and stuff like that. You can see there's a bit of scratches there. The keyboard is kind of filthy too, stuff like that. So yeah, it's not the best condition, but it sure does look good when it is in good condition. And of course the red Apple logo on the back is really cool as well. So it's still a really cool device, and I just literally got it to complete the collection. It is the last device I bought. And yeah, that's pretty much it with this thing. I mean, it works, it does what it needs to do, but I have nothing installed on it. And I haven't really played around with it at all because it can't be used unless it is plugged in. Then we come over to this guy, the MacBook Pro, which is 10 times more usable, and the screen looks so much better. This one, I mean, if it was on, it would look okay, but I mean, it looked pretty washed out and awful. But this one still actually looks pretty good, which is a surprise because pretty much all the other devices with a dedicated screen do not look good. That includes the iMacs. So this one is pretty good. It's got the Core 2 Duo in it, as all of them do. This one runs at 2.1 gigahertz, I believe. Oh no, 2.3 gigahertz. You can see it there. Pretty cool. And yeah, it runs pretty much anything I want it to. And this is the one I probably use the most because this one actually gets used to put stuff on like iPods and stuff like that. So yeah, I actually do use this thing a bit because it's so easy to just lay in bed and just, you know, just put songs onto iPods or movies or other stuff, or just check out the old OS like I sometimes do, all from the comfort of my own bed. And since these devices were all downstairs previously, I wouldn't go down there a whole lot because I usually just hang out here in my room because we got the gaming PC and we got other cool stuff here. So I usually just hang out up here. So yeah, it's going to be nice to have this thing dedicated to my room to be able to use it more. Although, if I want to use old Mac OS now, I might just, or OS X, sorry. I would probably just use that instead. Or, once I get a battery, probably this one, because this one actually is considerably lighter and smaller than this one. And the hinge is actually, well, I was going to say it's better, but they're about the same, actually. Both not great. But yeah, I'd probably start using this one because it actually, it's just a lot lighter, and yeah, it'll do the same thing. It's just it's a bit louder though because it runs a bit hotter than this, so. But anyways, that's the MacBooks. Let's get on to the final devices. Now let's talk about these final devices here. these are the iPods and iPhone. Basically, we have an iPod Shuffle, an iPod Nano, an iPod Classic, an iPod Touch, and the original iPhone, which is all cool. And of course, we got these two devices too, AirPort Extreme and Apple TV. So yeah, these devices are also some of the most used that I have, but let's get them all into their place and talk about them more in detail, except for these two. These two we won't talk more in detail about because I've never used this thing. I don't have any desire to use it. I just needed it for the collection. And this guy I have used. It's very slow, and I got it for free. That's all you need to know. Got that for $20. But yeah, got this for free. That's all you need to know. So let's get the important stuff that's actually interesting up there. All right, here are some of the last devices. We have the iPod Shuffle, the Nano, the Classic, the iPod Touch, and the original iPhone. So, what is the deal with these devices? Well, the iPod Shuffle, this was my mom's brand new. She bought it brand new, don't know how much, but it's hers. And the battery is completely cooked in it. Yeah, it has no battery remaining. And I'm not going to change it in this because I won't ever use this thing. I'm just going to let it hang out and enjoy its slumber. And next up we have this here, the iPod Nano, which I got just to complete the collection. And I don't ever use it either. It has a very good battery in it though, I'll tell you that. I loaded some movies onto it just to have something loaded onto it. And I was loading it onto all these other ones anyway. So thought I'd load it onto that as well. And yes, I believe this guy cost me around $30. And yeah, that's a okay deal, I suppose. But I wanted specifically the silver color and as much stuff as I can get. So that's what I did. I got it in silver to kind of match, like, you know, this guy, match that guy down there. You know how it is. Anyways, let's move on to this guy, the iPod Classic. I think I paid like 50 or 60 bucks for this one. The scroll wheel is a little iffy, but I will actually still use this one because it's still great. It's got good battery. It's got the color screen. I don't need to change the battery, which I've heard is a nightmare. And yeah, it's just the newest, I guess, iPod OS, and it still runs great. And also, it's just a good device if I want to take a trip down memory lane, because I used to, I don't know where it is, but we used to have an iPod video, and I used to actually watch movies on it all the time. So, good trip down memory lane this is. Anyways, next up we got the iPod Touch, which is a very interesting device to me because of how much it evolved. Now, I mean, this looks like just an iPhone, but without the phone features, but really, it's much less than that, because this thing, it doesn't have any volume buttons on it, and it doesn't have any speakers in it. It makes no noise. It also has no camera. So, it's very useless today, because obviously, you can't get apps for it. It won't connect to the store. It won't do any of that. So you're stuck just with this. And I did load movies onto it as well just to see how the quality was. And it wasn't great. Not something I would use. But still, a fun device. And it has a new battery in it, which is cool because the last one of these I had exploded. Yikes. Anyways, this is the original iPhone. Many of you guys know and love it. This one is mine. It is indeed a 4 gigabyte model, and it doesn't have any battery in it right now. The battery's kind of, it's getting weak in this phone, but yeah, I didn't charge it today for whatever reason, and it will not be getting charged for this video because you guys know what the old OS looks like. This one literally has all the same stuff in it except the camera functions and the speakers. So yeah, I mean, if you want to see all the apps, there they are. Except this one combines like the music, videos, and iTunes into one app just called iPod, which I found interesting. Anyway, yeah, I paid oh yeah, I paid like $20 for this device, and I'm just now realizing I paid $20 for that MacBook Pro and $20 for the other MacBook. A lot of $20 payments, but yeah, you can get cheap technology. This one, however, cost $100. I don't think the seller knew what they had, because I have not found another 4GB iPhone for near that much since. And yeah, this one, it's not in great condition. You can see it's a little worn out, but it still works perfectly fine. And it does actually hold a charge. Not a very good charge, but it does hold a charge. And that is great for this thing. And I paid $100 for this thing, and I actually have used it a little bit. I don't really use it now. It's more of just a display piece that I wanna make sure it stays healthy, because I don't want to do a battery replacement on it, and I for sure don't want it to break. So yeah, there's that. And anyways, guys, that is all of the devices. Let's go downstairs and take one last look at the iMac, the 2009 iMac, before it goes away. Well, here it is all by itself, the 2009 iMac, and it is very sad because it's going to be the only one going away from the collection. And yes, it's going for sale. Anyways, this has been a pretty decent device to own as well. I got it for free, actually, off of a friend, and I kind of feel bad selling it, but I just don't have the space for it. I know, and it's also not even a 2007, which is kind of it's a little annoying. So it's going away. I'm going to wipe it, and I'm going to post it for sale. And yeah, it was a good device, and I actually used it a lot, because it did indeed replace the 20-inch iMac as the one I actually used. That was before I got the iMac Pro. I would actually use this thing a lot, so it did get its fair amount of usage. And of course, I know the previous owners, my friend, bought it brand new and used it a ton. So I'm sure it'll go somewhere good. And yeah, this one, it's pretty cool. It's just pretty cool. Honestly, if you like these kind of old devices, this is one of the best ones to get, because in 09 they could go up to the same OS as 07 could, but more powerful processors. And this was the last year of this design with the big fat bezel underneath of it before they got onto the more modern looking ones. So this is the one to get if you had to pick one of them. But anyways, guys, yeah, this guy's going to be listed for sale. As much as I hate to do it, I also don't have space. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because I got more cool stuff coming out next week as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it for now. So see you guys later. Goodbye.